Good job. I want to introduce our guests, and then if you want to do our form, you want to make that in the introduction. Running our seminar today, Master Scott Mullins, one of the highest ranking masters in Goshin Jutsu, one of the best martial artists that I've had the opportunity to train with, trains many different systems of martial arts, currently doing Jutsu and various weapons, as well as continuing to train Goshin Jutsu at the Street Dojo, not me going up to Pittsburgh. Mike and I usually go there, where Mike's at. Every opportunity we could, we drive down and take lessons whenever we could, just because it was always fun, always interesting, and always learned something new. So, also in the building, we have Grandmaster Capella, the Grandmaster of the system, Master Pat DeBoer, Ninth Dawn. We have lots and lots of knowledge here at our disposal. So, if they tell you something, listen. It's like getting advice from me, but way better. So, with no further ado, Master Mullins.
Creep on a little bit. So, Mr. Johnson asked me to do the seminar. What do you teach?
It does. Yeah.
We're kind of running like a Google Dojo Jutsu class, or a little bit of warm up. For those that do my dojo, not the full warm up, keep going. Kind of what I want to think about today is, a lot of folks ask, like, what does it take to master a martial art? What does that mean? What's there beyond technique? And the two concepts I want to think about today are Gido, which is technique, or kind of like tactics, and Heo, which is really strategy. How we can get from what we're doing with our technique and move up to strategy, which is all the way through all of the different facets of Goshin Jutsu. We teach it as individual techniques, and then Waza, which doesn't really mean technique, heartfelt action, which I think is kind of cool. That's what Waza means. Kata, which is the form, expression of form, and then Kumagen. And how do all those things link together, and how can we kind of progress as we move through martial arts? So we'll start off with individual techniques, and then kind of how we put some of those together. But before we do that, we're going to kind of warm up a little bit. So everybody just spread out. We're going to have Mr. Trout warm us up. Do about like half of what we normally do, like even the books. So the reason we do that is we're able to relax one part of our body and tense another part. So even though these seem like we're just doing calisthenics, this is also how we do our technique, right? If I'm throwing this again, I tighten up from my center, my arm is relaxed, and then pop it. If I tighten up the whole way, it's like when we're doing a sit-up. My upper body's tight, my arms are tight. I'm not doing the sit-up properly. I'm not learning what I should from this. These aren't just calisthenics, just for the sake of it. They teach us how to use our body properly to do the techniques. Alright, normally we would, at this point, do individual techniques, right? Do some sequence, do some Mangyetis. We're going to do that, we're going to do it all in motion. Okay? So instead of just staying there statically, we do it in motion. And then we start building up to doing combinations, and how they work together, how each technique works off. Normally we do it from one end of the dojo to the other. It's a pretty big dojo, so we're going to put a line. And it's going to be that yellow line right between the two white ones, that's the end of the dojo, so we'll bang into it. We're going to come down to this side and face this way. Give yourself enough room so you don't bang into each other in this space. We'll start off real simple. Seiki Suki, pursuit punch. Right? So, this is called Seiki Suki. Call it pursuit punch or a stepping punch. What does Seiki itself actually mean? It means something else. Proper fist. So I'm just any old fist, but proper fists, right? So make sure the fist is in the right position. Mr. John said correctly, it's the first two knuckles. Actually, don't do it. But it's that proper fist. And what is this foot motion called? So we're going to make this, most systems have this motion like that. Half circle step. What is that actually called? You got your hand up, don't you? It's Ayumiyashi. Right? So we talk a lot about different steps, right? And how we do it today and how we do that. Ayumiyashi actually just means the downward step. So it's a very natural walking. Walk. Just exaggerate. So let's get started in bodies and Jutsu. All right, one thing. We're set. Start with a 3D, see, joint, 2D. So, when we're stepping, if you were a table that had 4 legs, you'd be perfectly square. Right? And too narrow here, we go that way. If too shallow, we go that way. And when it's eventually we have one position, we're vulnerable, so over this way and this way. Right? So again. Slide your foot along the floor. Lock that back leg, keep the heels on the floor on the back foot. How do we step? How do we do this? How do we move? Right? Give it away. What do you want you guys to do? Push off his back foot. What does he go forward with the hand? Might not be a real good idea. Plus, once I push here, I'm falling into this crowd. Every time you move, one foot gets unweighted, it moves, and the other one drives. Can't do both. This foot cannot unweight me and drive straight at the same time. I can't do it. Even though it seems like it, because that's one going forward, it's not. It's this leg. I pull with it to relax it, and then drive. This one's along with the drive. So as I said, when part of our body's going to relax and the other part tenses, that's what's going on here. I can't have both legs, both hips tight. I can't push off of this one and hope that one's going to come along for the ride. That pushes me up. Pull through. As we do it, this hand relaxes. It's past step. We're not stepping, striking. We're also not striking and stepping. They all have to happen at the same time. Block that back leg, push your knees out. When we're down, we're in stance. Our legs are not holding us up and pulling us down. Our legs aren't holding up here, pulling down, pulling down. Relax that back hand. So when we're getting ready to throw this again, just standing here, and hold my hand up. Should be aiming up here, should be aiming up here. Swing the ball. Wider. Make a good stance. Sit your hips. Nice and square. Relax yourself. Doesn't even be right. Stop pushing. took them out to figure out how to do that. Let's see. Interesting as it gets better. Let's do it. Put your arms across. Okay. As we're going back, I'm going to do that cross. Just tentatively going back, but you're going to do this. I have no idea why. But it's going to be here. Set your hips nice and square. Okay, so we talked about how we step going forward. All right. My lead leg pulls me forward and side. And we're going back. My back leg pulls me back, side. Okay. Almost everybody is stepping back like this. Step. Pull yourself back. Right. This hand relaxes the knee. And you move at the same speed. Get set, go. Just go. As soon as you start moving, relax this. Back your job. Not step back and punch. As you move back, this hand relaxes, this fist never goes back. The reason it didn't work last time, this is where his fist is, take a step back. You've just given up all that space. It's a concept called mind, combative distance, right? We have just given it up by stepping back. This is a very important concept. Again, we start talking about strategy. A little mistake like that gives your opponent the advantage. See, I can hit it very, I didn't even do it, just said it's sat on the top of the head. If he's moving, he should be moving. And I'm coming in, if he does not move that thing out as I come in, I've got it. If he moves to the surface, there's more to it than just stepping back. Makes sense? Did you see it? It's a very physical thing. You can see it. It seems like magic, but it's not. And it felt like magic when Mr. Fell used to beat me upside the head when I was attacking. But it's a very physical, like, it's all physics. It's nothing magic. Right? Just try it again, go back. So, I started that Hedari Zengatsu. Much better. So as we go, remember we're going to unlock that back leg. If my back leg is locked, I can't push up off it. After that hold, I'm going to do almost a kokutsu, slide past, snap straight. You should almost feel like you're pushing yourself back off of your face. Right? And when you get to the point where you can do this intuitively, and we're in kind of combat mode, I may not go all the way back to the Jutsu, and I may hit my opponent before my foot is smacked. It's the same power, same hip, same energy. Can you feel how you're supposed to move there? Any questions about that? Makes sense. It's super simple to be able to It's some of the stuff that we do a lot. We don't really think about how it works. The other thing to think about is that retracted hand. So a lot of times when we're doing waza, we're doing kata, many times there's actually something in that is how we're using it. So it's not just start the lawnmower, it's a lot going on. All right, let's do a little bit of a combination here. So we'll start kind of in the Goshin fighting stance. Got it? We're going to do 3 techniques in a row. Chokusuke, Yakusuke, Mangekyage, down the waist. Make sure we shift in. Chokusuke, pick his hand up, and bring it all the way back. Both hands come off the kick. Set it down. You got that? Do not fall into the game. Hand out in a good Ikimushi fighting stance. So we end up sideways, or leaning back, or a full turn. That is not a good place to end up, because our opponent is not hitting us at this moment, not sweeping our leg, or putting ourselves there. Right? So let's not give our opponent that opportunity. After we throw this punch, hands come back, knee comes up between them, and down the waist. Kick, set the foot down, slide out. If we're dropping it, gravity is in control. If we're sliding it, we're in control. Again, at back leg. So think about how to move you from there, right? Knee, leg, right, and all of the right leg. Let's see again, roll it over. Straight out. Just because we're bringing this into here, doesn't mean we don't start that same hip rotation as that. Don't lean back. Relax. When we're standing here and we're ready to go, we should be relaxed, not, oh my God, he's going to use the kick. I'm going to have to go. Relax. All right, back around the other direction. As you need to do it. Choke, Yaku, Mangekyage, Kwashi. Reach your hands in, and use. Got it? Yeah.
His command to do the attack should not be more enthusiastic, or louder, or more spirited than our attack. If you don't breathe, what happens to you? You die. So if he's giving us that effort, we should give it back.
What was the combo again?
Same thing we just did. Then Mawashi here. Slide his foot out. Hook on his head. And use.
Thank you.
It's a big stance. Otherwise, you threw yourself out. Two different kind of strikes we have. Tsukis and uchis. What's the difference? Why are some of them with tsuki, some of them in uchi? No, that's choke and gaku. Tsuki means thrust. It's a thrust. Seiko tsuki. Headache tsuki. It twists, it's a thrust on the way in. Uchi is a strike, a snapping strike. Uchi. So to make it uchi, not bump, right? If I'm throwing and the uchi at somebody's head, I'm not going to have it come around this way. Super easy for just put a hand up. Not so much. here, just like I'm throwing a C in, like up and over if I need to, straight up if I need to, down at an angle. It's an uchi, not a suki. Two different things. And if you've never heard of those terms or thought about them that way, think about your strikes like that. Some of them are tsuki, some of them are uchi. And they do two different things. Try to make your, I'm getting washing, one fluid motion. One breath on that kick, on the two kicks. Hand in front on the washing. Same time on the Good. Still going to slide out. We're not going to straighten out your Let's move back. In there. That's a long way to go. That's the kick that's going to get you. One of the points of throwing a bunch of techniques all at the same time, or like in combination, is to make sure that we control our body between them. Right? We don't want to get to the point where we're flailing around trying to come back. Especially in this Mawashi game, if I'm getting high, I don't want to lean over too far. Like, I want to be right here. And just hook behind the head with this. It's like a Sukuyu game. If we're really doing this against the opponent, it would be this. We're not being nice to each other. Like you're How'd you guys feel doing all those techniques together? Great. All right, so now we're going to take another little variation. And we're going to throw yoga again. We're going to throw two of them off the back leg, followed by a mountain punch. Right. So start that same fighting stance. 1, 2, and then just get with the mountain punch. Right. So back pump is here. I would throw on the low, on the high, drive in, low, remember, it winds in. It's not a swinging windshield wiper chop. Right? Now, with yoga blade, make sure they're two yoga blades. Not one yoga and one washi. Or one yoga blade and something you do like this. Right? Be able to throw two in a row. Ready? Okay. Off of that. So, straight, you should end up in a good 8-foot straight. Start with 8-foot straight. I know. And that's the thing about starting showing some of these, and you've seen it, right? What's great when you start doing these combinations is they become muscle. So when you go out there to spar, you don't just go 1, 2, got a few. The problem is when this is too much muscle memory, you do everything I want. Alright, so on Nakakomi, what does it actually mean? We say winding, but it's not really winding. might get a sushi. We call this sushi. Not in rolls. It's a rolling hand, right? So we're rolling it. And make sure we're hitting it with the elbow. So again, my opponent's dead in front of me. The last thing I want to do is this. It's always going to be pretty up and breaks my elbow and stops. I also don't want to turn myself this way. Because now my strike should actually happen out here. I am winding in, just driving the elbow down. To do this, we have to get both of these correct and then turn back so my toes are forward. If I let it land here, my arm should go here. Make sense? Right, turn yourself straight. Keep that right hand in front. Don't let it get behind. So, if we're throwing yogos, we should be getting that walk going. And as I retract this, it comes straight up. And now I'm ready to throw my mouth. Come down here. Come from here. Up here. Here. And your foot square. Don't fall into the kick. Turn square. When you pick your foot up, you're stationary. You have to get your balance correct. You have to turn straight back into your mug. Alright, back around. Do the dojo. Alright, so the last one we'll do, come back, is a little more of a drill, just loosen this up, which is great for some other things. We're going to throw two Mikazuki Geri catch. Crescent kick, one inside, one outside, every time. Right? So put your hand up, Mikazuki, move it around, Mikazuki. And come all the way back, so you can switch. So, 1, 2.
Spread out.
What's that?
Spread out.
Oh, yeah. You're like stagger. Every other person take one step forward. No, that's switch. You like over.
Turn it back.
Alright, so you're starting from Hidari Zenketsu. If you want to, maybe you don't need a fire stance. Put your hand out, try to keep it there. You throw it inside, Miki Mikazuki. Turn outside. All the way back. Bring that leg all the way back. All the way back.
Back up, okay.
Yep. You remember that? Turn outside. Look up and turn up. We're not going to turn and try to pick my foot up. I'm actually setting. Gotta get the head motion. If you find yourself losing balance, it's probably because your head is going forward and you're making a weak circle. And that is the purpose of this drill. We want to make sure that we stay straight as we do this. No balance, I'm making a big turn, I'm using help to get around. Turn and look at your hand.
I think I did the wrong one, so I accept myself a little bit.
That's not supposed to be a hard one. Not the evil. So, watch your foot. Didn't need the outside knife edge. Your right hand behind you. Look at it. Instead of turning through that rope, rib square. It's easier than you're making. When you're turning with that outside Mikazuki, you don't want to have this.
Almost everybody is
Where there's a big gap between my shoulder and my hip.
Oh, really? Watch, especially this guy with 50 quick right here. Yeah. But almost all
Entire side of my body.
that makes it almost impossible to control.
I would never throw this kick unless I know it's really pounds. But this is a great training aid to get our hips and our kind of look down at the feet. Have you ever looked down and not seen your feet down? No reason to look anymore. They're always going to be there. And if they're not, you've got a bigger problem. Step. Yes, and then we got before because you do it. Yep. Wait, which leg did you get? Okay, then you need to move backwards. Use your hand, that's target. Let it be relaxed. Everybody grab a partner and practice some waza. Move back across the floor. We'll kind of advance them as you go. If you're from one school, pick somebody else. And there. We have a different school, so we don't know exactly what you're. Do you guys know what's going on? No. It doesn't matter. Grab it. You're okay. All right, so as I said, here is Goshin, we call these waza, which I'll give you just relax on this thing, basically. Sometimes it means technique, but it really means heartfelt action, so this is kind of what this is like, right? So what makes a waza work? What makes a waza work? What makes it a good one? You ever try to make your own waza up? You go, hey, I'm going to do this. You just one piece, 4 things to make a waza up. In order of importance. High samadhi. That is basic body motion. It actually means full body motion. That's the number one thing. High samadhi. Followed by uke. Uke does not mean block. Column blocks, but uke means to receive. So how we receive our opponent's technique. There's a difference in thinking between trying to block somebody or just receiving their technique. The third piece, a lot of people miss, Kazushi, upsetting your opponent's posture. And then the fourth piece that everybody loves is the counter attack. At that point, it doesn't matter what it is. Because you're going out of his way, nullify his attack by receiving his technique how you want to, upset his posture. You are now, as Master Capella said, 99% certain for landing that strike. He always said, don't throw the strike until you're 99% sure it's going to happen. How do you get there unless you just find something that sticks? You can start with that. It's probably best. Yeah, so.
Don't waste any face.
When you do the most basic Goshin laws we do all the time, right? As I'm coming to task, I sit back, that's how I start. If you judge, access. But I'm going to see this technique because if I'm going to do this, I'm going into it, or I'm going to do this. If I do my ice block, I just step right back into the picture. I'm out of the way, right back over. That's not so good. So, as he attacks, step back, see his steady, clear out of the way. They really get the Kazushi because I can catch him when he's moving. Right? If I do it while he's moving, I'll get a little bit of Kazushi regardless of now, we're not going to do it with the basic technique. We want to do a bunch of back and forth. There's another piece that I talked about, that take you down. Right? If we're actually doing this, it's not going to be good. There's the future. That's my tracker. And pulling it. Pull my arm. Doesn't have to be squeaking. Kazushi is very important. Upsetting your opponent's posture. If you look at the katas, a lot of movements in them, you practice something in the eye. As you move, you're not just stepping out of the block of your opponent. You're not just throwing a counter strike at them. The movements, ice hockey, and a lot of times, the Kazushi upsets the spot. So, side facing you can do the Darius Ketsu, and you're attacking Sugoi. My side, you can start food notch or however you like. Open my hand up. Excellent. Okay. So, no, do the whole thing. We're going to do the whole thing. Yeah, I'm sorry. You guys if you're waiting for my command, do the whole thing, and then we should just keep stepping back across the floor. There was one it's time to do this. No, anybody here. That's a big gap. You should end up right on it. You're ready. You're ready. So, talked about what makes the waza work. We call this a timing drill. But it's really a distance drill. And everybody's messing up the distance. And because exactly what you want to do is receive what costs. And doing this route. Exactly because of this. We'll get out here with a person, we'll start like that. Or doing things like this. We've given up the mind. We've given our opponent control of the fight. We may have gotten out of the way, we might get hit that time, but we are not controlling the fight. We don't control the mind. Mind is more than that distance. It's an interval that you're fighting at, but it's also the psychological center of the fight. That's important. You're allowed to ask questions. You're allowed to say, "Come in."
Master explains it like a window. The attack can come through the window or the defense can come through the window. But there's only one person in the window at a time. So you have to control that window. The attack is coming through, you want to be out of the way. And once this attack is done, you want to counter back to the window. That's the line.
It is. Probably that window moves.
Yeah, it's not a stationary.
That window's moving, and if you do this, you made the window run that big. Okay? So when you talk about mind, and where we're starting from, why do we start from that distance? Because we're going to fight, we start from this distance. We start from what we call Goshin, which means I have to get this. All the way straight. I have to get one step. If the fight starts and I get out of the way, I'm going to be a little bigger. Psychologically, this person goes, this guy's afraid. Regardless of how close I get, my eyes out. It's like, I can beat this guy, he's going to move back. He's going to slide. He's going to go another one. Super important as you practice these drills. You're not just doing the physical part of it. As your opponent attacks, that was my high spot. He attacks. Right? Big difference between that and okay. So there's a psychological piece of mind that goes along with it. So when you get it, mental and physical requirements, there's mental requirements. This is where you learn it, doing these drills over and over again. And I've done these drills and I don't want to attack this guy. We're just doing drills and I don't want to attack this guy. That's something that's controlling the mind. So think about that. Yes? Me. Too close. Don't be. Who put you there? Okay. All right, good question. The magic distance, right? Everybody wants to find the magic distance. Well, I can hit him, you can't. That doesn't exist. If it did, I would have found it a long time ago. Right? There's magic angles. And it's also just making sure that you hit the spot. So, I'm going to attack you. You can do this and you can do Now, look, if you extend it, I'm going back across the floor. We're done with this room. Right, so that's part of it. The other, now I attack again, you're going to have trouble. Make sense? So, all of you see your post, and again, not picking on you, but it's harder sometimes with people that are more senior, like, this person isn't attacking correctly. There's no such thing as a correct attack. Right? How this person attacks is how they attack. What you're doing is you're doing your technique correctly, but not taking into account. At that point, my getting doesn't work. Kitsugi's fine. Kitsugi's fine. Right? If that person's that close, bring up Kitsugi. Right? If everybody does it exactly correctly, yes. I'm not saying I'm doing it exactly correctly, but I attack how you expect it. Right? Yeah. Yep, come on. Using that. Right, other direction. Same attack. You guys are using defense. Right? So start through Dutch. First attack, step back, rotate, shift into the ceiling. Back all the way. Right? And you guys that are more senior, I really don't care what counterattacks you do. Just make sure you're doing high blocking, good, So, attacks me in turn. Okay? Mr. John, good job. So you can see that distance controls timing, controls speed. You can use distance to make time. But if you screw up that distance, screw up that line, screw up timing, screw up the distance, and then screw up the angle, screw all that.
I can get an audio.
Some of you guys are doing it, it's good. Using a little bit of a different step. Let's talk about some of those and take a break there. So we use a Mumiyashi, right? Walking steps. Very few people do that when they come up to food. I do sometimes. Walk somebody down and punch them out, right? Everybody likes to use that. What's that called?
They call it a double step, but
It's called a double step. It's Sugiyashi, the sliding step. Right? There's two versions of it. One that everybody learns, which is bring this one up, slide that one out. Sugiyashi. Then there's another one, actually called Yodayashi, where that lead foot moves first. And it's terrible that you use the lead with the move the lead foot first. Sure you can, if you know what you're doing. And if you've done any Kobudo or Jutsu or any other type of weapons, you do it all the time. You do it all the time. The reason we don't teach beginners or even, I didn't really let people up to Shodan do it much, is because we haven't really learned to control how we're moving our feet. Right? So, you do the best with it. Watch your back. So, if I'm doing the normal Tsugiyashi, how we always do it, if I do it correctly, super hard for Mr. Child to sweep. And for years, I did that against Master Capella all the time. I'm going to sweep him. Thunk. Bang. Huh. Doesn't. If you do Tsugiyashi correctly, super hard to sweep something. Strangely, the same thing for Yodayashi, if I do it correctly. If I want to cover this distance quickly, like we're fighting it like an interval where I have to take more than one step to kind of get at this track. I can move this foot first. The way most people do it, is unweighting it and driving this and off the back leg. If I drive off the back leg, leave this on the floor, and push it like I'm doing half of an Mumiyashi, swing out. I'll let you hit it this time. But if I try to come up and go, it takes a long time to get that. I have to move off this back leg. I can do it. Now, the way you make your punches strong in that is I've got to also do the second half of it, which is the slide. And this is very similar to what we're doing going backwards. It kind of changes the thing. I'm just going to use your shoulder a little bit. It's not here. I'm actually driving. So I'm sliding in, and as I bring this back foot up, that's so Yodayashi is good if you do it properly. If you don't, pretty easy to switch. So practice it. Know how you're moving. Right? It's good if you know you're doing it. It's terrible if you do it and you don't intend to. If you know what I mean. Right? If I'm out here sparring with somebody and I think, oh, I'm going to get killed. Right? If I really want to do this, and I end up doing this, that's not so good. Right? There's also another step that can be used to close that distance, called surikomiyashi. I'm actually going to cross my feet. People do it all the time, probably like a step across kick. Right? If I want to cover some distance, I can do it sideways, shitoriashi, just all means different types of. But all of these require me to move in the proper way, right? If I just take and try to slide that or step that foot in, he's going to kick it. If I use this leg to pull that forward, and then this leg to push this forward, super hard. Make sense?
Hey.
And we're going to do some drills. We'll try this, but let's take a quick break. We'll take a quick break.
1:30 now, so yeah.
Okay, perfect. So everybody just line up. Okay, ready? 5, 10,